smaller of the Pacquiao ones, but then I tweeted at the end that it had filled up by the time the main event was on the scale.
Okay.
So it got a lot better. But it was, look, it was, Bob is not, it was okay, but it wasn't like the biggest we've ever seen.
Yeah, but you got to realize the crowd's youth, I think, forget the Mayweather, when he was fighting Marquez.
Yeah, the Mexican crowd.
Which brought up that Mexican.
On the lighter side, no trump card. I have a personal question. When are we going to see some black top rank girls?
Hey, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Get Stokes over here. There's a question. We need. Tell Arum needs to answer a question. As a matter of fact, we had one.
Really?
Yeah,
Where
definitely. I don't know what the hell happened to her, but I remember. She's a nice girl. She worked the show that we had in El Paso and worked the show that we had in San Antonio. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, there's no reason not to have black. I mean, these girls are really great, but there are a lot of good-looking black girls. I don't care as long as they have nice behinds.
On that note, Bob, I'll see you later.
Talk about Jesse Vargas. What do you see next for Jesse Vargas?
Jesse Vargas is a wonderful kid. He's going to be a great champion, and he would like to do a rematch with Timothy Bradley. So that's my first goal. Win or lose, Timothy Bradley, is to see if I can make a match between Timothy and Jesse Vargas.
Do you think that's a step down for Timothy Bradley at this point?
I don't think so. I think Vargas, proved himself with Saddam Ali. He has a trainer that he's really related to in Dewey, and I think it'd be a hellacious fight, him and Bradley.
Okay, now speaking of Bradley, I must ask you, don't you think Bradley deserves, aside the politics of boxing, to fight the Sean Porters, the Keith Thurmans, guys on the other side of the fence, just to make him legit? Because people always ask, is he a Hall of Famer? I think he's a Hall of Famer, but he needs that marquee, clear-cut win against a 147 thoroughbred.
If they made one of those guys available and Bradley wanted to fight him, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. I don't think necessarily, I think Porter is a good fighter, but I don't think a victory over Porter does one thing one way or the other for him and as far as the Hall of Fame. I think he is a Hall of Fame. But obviously if he fought Thurman and beat Thurman, who I think Thurman is the best on the other side of the street of the welterweights, that would be a good accomplishment.
Okay. Talk about Mikey Garcia. I was late to the party. I just got the news today. So he's basically a free agent from you guys. He can feel free to sign with anyone, or you guys
He signed already with Heyman.
Okay.
As I understand it, about 6-7 months ago. So I can't say that he's a free agent, but at least we are not going to be any kind of impediment in his going forward in his career.
Assuming Manny Pacquiao wins, you don't believe he'll retire, if I'm not mistaken?
I didn't say that. Okay. I said if he wins, I think he should retire. I don't know whether he'll retire, and because I don't know that he's going to retire, I'm not going to advertise this fight as his last fight, because it's up to him, and fighters are peculiar. They never want to hang it up.
How about, it was I'm not sure if it was smoke and mirrors, but all last week they said Canelo Pacquiao.
If Manny wins and wants me to arrange a fight with Canelo, I'll do it. I mean, Oscar and I are very friendly, and assuming Canelo gets by Khan, that would be an attractive fight. But again, it's up to Manny whether he wants that fight, and it's up to Oscar whether he wants to do the fight.
Who wins that fight, Canelo Khan?
Well, I think the advantages Canelo has in weight and youth, but I think it'll be a replay of Manny's fight with De La Hoya.
That's a good point. Okay, last question. Who beats Triple G?
Well, Triple G, I can't see any 160 pounder out there that not only could beat Triple G, but even be competitive with Triple G. Triple G is a world-class fighter. He's a great middleweight, maybe one of the best middleweights of all time. The only time he can run into trouble maybe is if he went up and fought at 168. But at 160, I can't find anybody that is even competitive with him. I mean, I would mention somebody, but I don't know. I don't know anybody.
And I thought, but is Floyd Mayweather a genius, you think? Well, is Floyd Mayweather a genius about how much he's monetized boxing?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's been very clever, very smart. You have to give him credit. Hey, Stokes, the complaint.
Have a seat.
Have a seat.
Have a seat, sweetheart.
Come here, sit down, sit down.
Have a seat.
She's in charge of the top-ranked knockouts.
Yeah.
The complaint is, why aren't there any women of color who African Americans?
Chocolate.
Okay. I had a perfect one, but we just kind of do a little rotation, and we have some that just stick around longer than others. Other obligations.
There was one, the nice one, that went with us on some trips and
Erica
everything.
Jackson.
Yeah, right.
She's one of our favorites. We're still cool, but she moved on to other things, and sometimes people just go different directions.
They get a lot of exposure being top-ranked knockouts, and they get good gigs. One of them that we had, what was her name? Who won $40,000 in the bikini contest? Jen Mateo, yeah. So that's great. They go on to big things, and that's terrific. But you're going to look. And if you have any girlfriends and you can recommend them, send them.
Appreciate you, Bob.
Send me some emails.
Do I send them to Bob or do I send them to you?
Well, actually, you can send them to me. You should probably send them to me instead. Christina@toprank.com.
All right,